Alright, welcome back to H4 Woodworks. My name is Randy. On today's project, we're going to be making a basic coffee table. And this coffee table is going to be made out of 2x4s and 1x6s. This is a very basic table, something easy to make. You can make in a day. I'm using it to put on a covered outdoor patio area. So it doesn't really need to be too weather resistant. And it doesn't need to be fancy because it's obviously not going in the house. But it's basically made up, my cuts are pretty simple, 4 components here. First component, I've got 4 each of these 2x4s that are cut at 16 inches, and these will make up the legs. I've got 2 2x4 pieces cut at 14.5 inches, and these will make up the short sides of the table. 2 that are cut at 42 7/8, and these will make up the long sides. And 4 1x6s that'll make up the top, and they are cut at 48 inches, so that's the full width or length of this table. So that's pretty simple. It's going to use pocket hole joinery, nothing fancy. Again, something you can make in the afternoon. One thing I am going to do differently that's not really a requirement, it's not necessary, but I'm doing it for personal preference. As you can see, some of these I've already kind of scribbled lines on, and I'm going to skin these off with my table saw, basically about 1/8 of an inch, and take off this factory roundover, and this will allow the pieces to sit more flush with each other. Again, not absolutely necessary, just more of a personal preference. Makes it easier for assembly and glue up. But that's it. I'm going to take my table saw, get it skinned up, and then we'll come back and we'll do a quick assembly. Should go fairly quickly. Thanks. Now, since we are using pocket holes for this joinery, I will talk a little bit about pocket hole setup here. What I have here is a Masca brand pocket hole jig. I like it a little bit better than I do the Kreg, it being all plastic. This is solid billet aluminum. It's worked very well for me for the time that I've had it. I did assemble it on this station here that I can kind of just take with me and go. It's just 3/4 inch plywood all around. I've added these flush runners on the sides, so if I need to do longer pieces, I can without it teetering. It sets nice and level. These two face clamps are just basic Harbor Freight brand face clamps, nothing special. I use those when I'm in the assembly. You'll see those later. And then I attach this small planer tackle box where I keep all of my accessories for pocket holding here in one place, since I don't really need them anywhere else. Now, I did mention about Kreg. I'm not completely against that brand. I do have, this is their drill bit setup along with their little keyway tool. I do like their drill bits because they have the pre-etched markings, so it's a little easier for setup. I do have the Masca drill bit that comes with this kit. It sits over in my drilling station as a backup in case this bit breaks. But also dust collection, I've kind of had to modify the port a little bit to accept my dust hose here, but it works fine, keeps the chips out. And then when I'm all done with this, because I've added French cleat design on the back, I can just take it, hang it on my wall, and forget about it until I need to use it again. So, hope you enjoyed it. It's a little quick, and we'll get into the assembly now. Okay, so we'll get started with assembly. Let's talk a little bit about the things I got laid out here for assembly. Now, in this particular case, I'm going to be doing a few things that you would want to consider differently if you're building this for a more outside weathered environment. One, obviously I would not recommend using standard stud 2x4s for one. But the screws I'm going to be using are these Kreg pocket hole. These are 2.5 inch screws. These are your basic zinc coated ones. They have a outdoor ones. I don't have any particular, but that's what you would want to use if you're building it for outside. Titebond 3, this is Titebond 2. Titebond 3 if you're building more outside, where I use these small condiment bottles. I like them better because you can get more control over the squeeze out. I also have this Bosch #2 square drive. I like it better, it seems to grab the screws. And obviously in my case here, I've got a face clamp to hold everything together. And you see this blue mat. Now this is a blue silicone mat. It comes from Rockler, or it's a Rockler brand. That fits Rockler, but and this keeps, when the glue squeeze out gets down here, it doesn't get on the tabletop and hard to clean up or gets it stuck to this. Once it dries, you can just peel it right off and go. But that's essentially it. I'm going to get everything nice and lined up, and we'll get started here. Also, nice to have a couple extra rags, just paper towels on hand, clean up glue, any glue squeeze out and whatnot. So we'll go ahead and get started and get to it. Everything's good and tightened up. And that's it. That's basically one single side leg here. And then we'll make an identical one for the other side, and then we'll go ahead and attach our long runners here in a minute. Actually, we're just going to do that right now while we've got it on this leg here. So what we'll do here, same deal. Now I'm keeping the flat edge portion up to the top. That way the tabletop kind of sits flush. Now this is the more difficult part here, to keep everything perfectly lined up where you want it. So this one's always going to be more difficult. Because there's not really a good way to clamp this, and this will really want to walk on you. This is one of the major disadvantages to pocket holes, especially when you're trying to go through something like this. Again, it's good enough for government work, but that's essentially the two pieces that we made here. So, all right, I'll finish this up and we'll come back in a little bit. All right, well, the top is done. I didn't bore you guys with the details of showing how I assembled it because it's pretty basic. 1x6s laid evenly spaced. I used this 1/4 inch poplar strip to give them about give a 1/4 inch gap between each board. It's about a 3/4 inch overhang along the front and the back, and a 1 inch overhang on the sides. Basically two 1 3/4 inch deck screws in each board down the side, and then I'm going to apply 3 more on the front and the back, and then 2 down each center here, and that'll pretty much seal it in place for the top. And then the next step will be sand it down smooth, round over the sharp edges, and then chamfer the legs, which will hopefully keep it from splitting. And then I'll paint it a gray color to match the rest of my furniture that I have outside. But other than that, that is pretty much it. I'll see you whenever I get done here, and we'll grab some chow and then come back and do the finishing process. Well, here's the table. It's all complete and done. Painted up and sanded down. So I made it to match the 2 end tables that I built previously. And this will complement the patio set that did not come with any kind of tables. So this is it. As you can see on top, a few other items that I've made in the past, just kind of little decorative stuff. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and be making a few more projects in the future. Next, I think next on the bucket list is make some garden planters for out there in the yard. So anyway, hope you guys enjoyed. Have a great day.